Okay, Bismillah. Okay, folks, welcome back. What we're going to be looking at today is multiplying fractions. So what we've done here, what I've done here in advance, you come into the lesson, is write down the basic rules and make it as colorful and exciting as possible. I'm going to go through them now, explain them to you, and then we're going to use them in some live questions. Okay, number one. Now, this lesson is now taking part after we've done addition questions and subtraction questions. Now, in addition and subtraction, we said we can deal with the questions without having to change them into topic. Remember? Now, when we are multiplying fractions, if we have any mixed fractions, we must, absolutely must, change them into mixed. Sorry, mixed, we must change them into top heavy. We didn't need to do that for addition and subtraction because we found other ways of doing the question. Right, are we happy with that? So in the multiplication, rule number one, change all mixed fractions into top heavy first. Also, if you have any whole numbers in the question, change them also into top heavy. We'll show you how to do that as well. But as a quick example, if I have the fraction 3, so if I have the whole number 3, I want to turn it into a fraction, I write it as 3 over 1. There you go, done. Rule number 2. Rule number 2. Try to cancel, which is another word for simplifying, diagonally and or vertically. So you do whichever directions you can do it. So diagonally is the orange arrows here, and vertically are the light blue arrows over here. Are we looking at the screen, folks? Or are we looking at each other? Yeah? So we cancel either straight up like this. Are you following that? Straight up. Or we've cancelled diagonally. But we never ever cancel horizontally. Okay, we multiply out horizontally, but we don't cancel horizontally. Okay, after we've done the cancelling, rule number 3 states, now we have to multiply the top numbers out together. Top number multiply top number. Multiply the bottom numbers out. And step number 4, change any the top heavy answers now back into mixed fractions, and also simplify again if you can. Okay, are we happy with that? Yes. Because sometimes you might have not cancelled enough here in step 2, so you might have you definitely have another chance at step 4. Okay, are we happy with this rule now? Yes. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to pause this for a moment, resize the screen. Right. So we have 1.5 times by a quarter is the first example. So let's follow the rules which are now being reduced on the left hand side so we can still see them. Now, it says there, what's rule number 1? Pakaya?
Change all mixed fractions into top heavy.
Okay, and also changing the whole numbers into top heavy. Now 1.5, this is a mixed fraction. So we start with the 2. And what do we do, Layla? Times and then add. So 2 times by 1 is? 2 add 1 is? So we have 3 over 2. Time by 1 over 4. Now, why do we do nothing to the second fraction?
Because it's
a proper fraction. It's a proper fraction. So there's nothing for us to do that fraction in terms of preparation for the question. Now, the question says here, try to cancel rule number 2 diagonally or vertically. Now, let's have a look if we can do that. Now, vertically, this one here, 3 and 2, can we cancel vertically?
No.
The answer is no, because they're both prime numbers. Won't divide by anything. Their highest common factor is 1, which doesn't really help. Here, 1 and 4, they won't cancel because 1's already simple. What about this diagonal here, family? This diagonal here. Can you cancel that one?
No.
No, because that's already simple. 1 is as simple as it can get. What about this diagonal here?
No.
No as well. So the question says here, number 2, try to cancel. So if you can't cancel, it's not the end of the world. What do we do next? Step number 3. What's step 3, Mr. Ali?
Now multiply times top numbers.
Multiply the top numbers together.
Yeah.
And then?
Multiply the bottom numbers.
Multiply the bottom numbers together. So, what are the top numbers, Layla? Everybody else quiet, please. Top numbers are? 3, Okay,
Times by
3 times by 1. And okay, what's the bottom number we're going to multiply?
2 times by
2 times by 4. So 3 times by 1 will give us,
3.
and 2 times by 4 will give us. Okay, now, it says they change any top-heavy fractions back into mixed. This is not top-heavy, so you don't change into mixed. And simplify again if you can. Family, can I simplify that again? No. How do you know that? Because 3 is a prime number. So this here is my final answer. And we have all done. So the answer is 3/8. That's example number 1. So the question here says try to cancel. We couldn't cancel, so we just moved on to step 3. Yeah.
I thought you go opposite.
No, we cancelled diagonally. So we're trying to cancel from here to here diagonally, this way or vertically. But we don't multiply diagonally. You multiply at the top numbers and multiply the bottom numbers. So these arrows here are arrows for direction of simplifying, not arrows of multiplication. Okay. Do you understand the difference between simplifying and multiplying?
Yes.
Yeah, simplifying when you divide by common factors, and multiplying is multiplying. Okay, let's look at the question now. Okay. Okay, here we go. Example number 2. For example number 2, we have 2 1/7 times by 1 2/5. Okay, here we go. Okay, right. We have the following question. Have you all copied it down?
Yeah.
So, let's have Khadija. What does rule step number 1 tell us to do?
You times and then you add.
It's telling us to change any mixed fractions into. So we start at the bottom. And we go around and times and add. Start at the bottom and go around and time and add. So what is 7 times by 2?
14.
14. Over?
7.
Okay, hang on a second, we haven't finished yet. So, hang on a second, let's stop there right there straight away.
Oh, so you have
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've given me an answer, I've written down on stage. Let's quickly get that off. That's right. 7 times by 2 is 14, that's correct. And then we have to add the 1. So that'll give us then 15. Put the times back in. So we have now 5 times by 1 in the second fraction, which is 5. Add 2 is
7.
over 5. Now we need to try to cancel diagonally and vertically. So let's look at this diagonal here. Now, what can we cancel both of those by, Mr. Ali?
By 1. No.
By
by
7.
And at the
Hang on a second. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. That's for simplifying. Okay. Rokaya, let's look at this diagonal, which I'm going to circle for you in blue. So I'm looking diagonally across the shape. That way. Don't tell her. What can we simplify these two fractions by? Sorry, these two numbers. We can divide them both by 5. Let's divide them by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Now here comes the next part. So we've done step 1, step 2, now step 3. Now multiply the top numbers. So hang on a second. Multiply top numbers. What is the top numbers? 3 times by 1.
And the bottom is 1 times by 1.
On the bottom we have 1 times by 1. Hang on a second. 3 times by 1 is 3. 1 times by 1 is
1.
and 3 divided by 1 is
3.
3. Yes? Are we happy with that question? Okay, so we've done an example where we have one mixed fraction and a proper fraction. Now we have two mixed fractions. Let's look at another example now. Hang on. One.
What about if we know whole numbers like 2?
Yeah, we'll do that one. There we go. Okay, let's say for example we have an example like this. Nothing else. Question number 3, folks. Welcome back. Question number 3. We're looking at now multiplying proper fractions. Let's see what happens this question. So again, we miss our step 1 because we don't have any mixed fractions. We do change. We try to cancel diagonally and or vertically. So let's have a look. So let's get the right color. Now we look at the 2. Okay, and we look at the 3. The 2 and the 3, can they cancel? Because they're both prime numbers. Okay. Let's look at the 5 and look at the 10. Will they cancel?
Yeah.
And they will. What will they cancel by?
By 5.
By 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, what are you doing? Are you paying attention to what we're doing in the lesson? So we have, if you try cancel diagonally, 2 and the 5, they won't work. They're both prime numbers. They won't divide by anything apart from 1. And no, we'll take them 3. Because 3 is a prime number. Now what do we do? We've done the cancelling. We now have to multiply the top numbers. So it'll be 2 times by 2 times by
3.
2. Which way are you going? And then we have 1 times by on the bottom. 1 times by 3. So that gives us what? 4 over 3. What type of fraction is that?
That's the top heavy.
Top heavy fraction. So what do we do that?
Divide it.
So do 4 divided by 3.
Because 1 remaining. Because 4 divided by 3.
Equals 1 whole and 1 left over. We copy the 3 from the other part of the question to the answer. And that's the end of that particular question. So here we can cancel it once. Sometimes you can cancel it twice, like we did in example number 2. Okay, what happens when we have whole numbers?
What do you mean?
I'll show you what I mean. Question number 4. Say, for example, you have a question like, okay, let's have a look at the question. Say we have, there we go. A question. So it's a multiplying fraction question with a whole number and a proper fraction. Now if you look at rule number 1 says that when we change a whole number, we need to change all the whole numbers into top heavy. So how do we change 15 into top heavy? What do we do to it? What do you do yourself? Put a 1 and leave it. Divide by 1. So now it looks like a fractions question, 2 fractions. Now what do? We do what we've done before. We try to cancel diagonally, vertically, but never horizontally. So 1 and 4, if we cancel that way, it won't work because 1's very simple. If you try to do 1 and 15, that won't work. 1's already as simple as it gets. But we can cancel the 15 and the 9 of us.
How did 15 come into the answer? I thought it was 5 times by 4 now.
No, the question was 15. Come up on. Okay, so we try to cancel this direction diagonally. We tried everything else, it doesn't work. Right, now 15 and 9. Let's have Layla. What is the highest common factor of 15 and 9? 3. Well done. So we say 15 divided by 3 is 5. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now what do? We've done step 2. We couldn't do step 1. We have done step 1, changing whole numbers top heavy. So we've done step 2. Now we have to do step 3. Now multiply top numbers together and bottom numbers together. So what are the top numbers? Let's have Mr. Fahmy. What are the top numbers?
5 times by 4.
Okay. Okay, 15 divided by 3 is 1. Yeah, okay. 5 times by 4. And what's the bottom numbers?
1 times by 3. 9.
Okay, what's 15 times by 4 then?
3.
And then divided by
3.
3. What's 20 divided by 3? Go on.
6 and 2/3.
6, remainder 2, so the answer is 6 and 2/3. So I've done all different types of examples that we could do. It's not necessary that the answer will cancel, like we had example number 1. Example number 2, we had double type of cancelling, both diagonals cancel. Example number 3, only one diagonal cancel, and same for example number 4. You can also have vertical cancelling as well. And we can have a look at that. I think we should squeeze that in somewhere on this page. The last example, we'll do number 5 here. Nice, quick one. So question number 5, I'm going to show you a question where you can cancel vertically. So for example, we have 9 over 27 times by 8 over 4. So that's the question. So what can we do? We can cancel now vertically. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So now we cancel straight up. So now 8 and 4, they will both divide by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. So now the cancelling was done completely vertically. Okay. So now you multiply the top numbers together. So 1 times by 2. Multiply the bottom numbers out together. 3 times by 1. So 1 times by 2 is 2. 3 times by 1 is 3. So the final answer to that question is 2/3. That question is finished.
Judge, if the denominator is like bigger than the top, you leave it.
That's what's called a proper fraction. That's normal. If the bottom number is bigger than top number, that's good.
So,
but if you can cancel it, then you must cancel it as well. Yes, come on.
So if you can't cancel it, you have to check from diagonally or vertically, and then if you can't, you have to just times.
That's right. If you can't cancel in diagonal, vertical direction, then you turn the top, turn the bottom, change it back into. If it's top, if you change it into mixed. Okay, Mr. Family, are we happy with that? Okay, good. I'm going to pause, stop that video. I'm going to give you a chance to do some questions now. Okay.